welcome to the channel. I didn't want the first video on this channel to be what it's going to be about today, but with the recent concerns and the recent knowledge of this game and its development coming into light, I feel like I had to make this video. And since this is dinosaur-based content, I had to post it on this channel. So, as you can already guess, today we're going to be talking about the Isle and my concerns with the game. Just to be clear, this video is not going to be talking about the allegations against Paradigm Shift or any other member of the dev team. This video is only going to be about the game, the development of the game, and gameplay. If you want a video on the allegations of Paradigm Shift, then go check out Sid Alpha's channel, as he does a brilliant rundown of all of the allegations and everything that is currently available to the public about the matter. So, without further ado, let's get started with my problems with the Isle. For those of you that do not know what the Isle is, I don't know why you're watching this video, but the Isle was originally a Kickstarter game that advertised a dinosaurs versus humans versus ecosystem PvP and PvE survival game. This didn't really hash out the way anyone anticipated it, though, as the Isle has been in beta or early access rather, for 5 years now. And it hasn't, in my opinion, come along as far as it needs to. 5 years of development is a large sum of time and money to spend on a product, especially a game. And for the base game to basically be almost exactly what it was 5 years ago, that has some problems behind it. Now, before anyone makes any concerns of where I stand in this community and how much I know about the game, I have 60 plus hours in the game. Now, some people wouldn't consider that to be nearly enough time to fully understand the game, and I would disagree. In my personal opinion, if a player does not fully understand the mechanics of the game, the story of the game, or how the game actually plays within 10 hours, then it is a bad game, and it needs to be improved. The Isle is a simple game, and it's been that way for 5 years. As the Isle is now, you pick a dinosaur, herbivore or carnivore, and depending on what game mode you choose, of which there are 2, survival and game sandbox, you can grow your dinosaur and survive on an island with other player-ran dinosaurs. And that's really the entire game, as it is now, and has been for 5 years. There's not really a whole lot to do in the game. You walk around, you eat, drink when you need to, and other than that, there's not a whole lot to do. I would argue that this game is a little more than maybe an alpha test. There aren't a whole lot of complexities towards the Isle or its gameplay, even if you're verging on 1,000 or so hours in the game. It's the sad truth that 5 years really hasn't brought much except new dinosaurs, several new maps. Uh, that's maybe a new mechanic here and there every now and then. It's nothing to be aspiring to. What makes things worse is that the Kickstarter promised things to be implemented in the game, such as strains, of which there are 3, for dinosaurs to achieve and become bigger, stronger, more advanced dinosaurs. Those are not in the game in 5 years of development. The Kickstarter promised human factions and humans in general, none of which, after 5 years of development, are in the Isle. And what has been implemented in the Isle, like the Hypo and the Crine Rex, has only been a part of the Isle for a week, maybe 2, before it was pulled. And I would consider that a test, rather than an implementation of a mechanic or a dinosaur. We have not seen the Hypo since then, except when the devs give specific permission for content creators to use the Hypos as generate hype for the game. What also concerns me are the balancing issues that are part of the Isle. Balancing issues that allow smaller dinosaurs, mid-tier dinosaurs, to take down the apex dinosaurs. A brilliant example of this is Utah versus Rex. In my opinion, no single Utah should be able to take down a Rex. No single Utah should be able to take down a Stegosaurus. Yet, in the Isle, they can. Because they... What are the words I'm trying to look for here? They manipulate the bugs in the game. And they manipulate the fact that the game is early access and that it is not polished and prestige. The Rexes really have no defense for fighting against the Utah Raptor. The Utah Raptor is faster than the Rex, smaller than the Rex. And the Rex can't necessarily 180 itself perfectly to get a Utah that's biting at its heels. I understand all turn is a thing, and it is being implemented in later versions of the game, and that's good. That's a step in the right direction. Speaking of later developments of the game, let's talk about Infirma. I mentioned several times in this video that the Isle has undergone 5 years of development. One of those years was spent recoding the entire game from scratch. We call this branch, this version of the game, Infirma. Infirma is supposed to be a richer game, with richer gameplay, more in-depth gameplay. It is supposed to have a new island, with various degrees of foliage and temperatures. It is supposed to have multiplying dinosaurs that are fully developed and do what they need to do, as well as are fully balanced. When Infirma launched, the entire world was disappointed to see that only 2 dinosaurs were in the game, and fully polished. Those 2 dinosaurs being the Utahraptor for carnivores, and the Tenontosaurus, a new dinosaur for herbivores. In Infirma, you can pick one of these 2 dinosaurs to grow to their adult stages. These dinosaurs have new attacks, new animations, possibly even new models, and they've implemented new core gameplay mechanics, such as rolling in mud, to disrupt your scent from other players. But again, this is a hollow version of what we wanted. When the trailer for later developments came out to the general public on YouTube, it showed things like the Dinosaurus, a large crocodilian that would wait in the water and wait for prey to drink so it could strike. A new modeled Spinosaurus, who was also supposed to be water-faring. They were supposed to add fish. They were supposed to add venomous creatures. None of those happened. Instead, the devs tell us that we will have to wait for all of those expansions to the game. Ladies and gentlemen, overall, this game is little more than a tech demo that offers no real gameplay, as is often the case, that players just wander aimlessly, without purpose, besides feeding their dinosaurs and ruining people's days. I want to see the game succeed, but with little the dev team has been giving us, it doesn't look good. I'm to a point now to where I do not want to play the same game over and over again. I do not want to walk aimlessly for hours on end as an apex predator trying to look for food, trying to look for communication between other players, only to then find these players and either kill them or do nothing with them. The Isle is not a game. Not yet. And the decisions that the devs make will choose whether the Isle becomes a game or is lost to time, like so many other dinosaur survival games. And I will say that the allegations against Paradigm Shift and the actions of the other devs aren't making that any easier. I'm not speaking from an individual who hates the game. I'm not speaking as an individual who hates the devs of the game. I'm not speaking as an individual who just doesn't like the game. I'm speaking as an individual who loves this game and who wants to see this game succeed with all of his heart. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Mr. Spinosaurus, and I urge you to inform the devs to work harder. I inform you to tell the devs what you want, because you are the consumers of this game. You are the backbone of this game, and you should be able to tell the devs of this game what you want. I'll see you all next time.